Are you a fan of the Doge movement, getting rid of government jobs?
Doge is too big in terms of an umbrella word. If you say, am I in favor of Doge cutting Medicare? My answer is hell no. But if you say Doge cutting Pentagon, yeah, let's have a conversation. I don't want to spend my money on foreign governments. I don't want to spend it on corporate subsidies. I don't want to spend it on Pentagon BS.
That's a fair take. Take it agency by agency, not an overall umbrella. All right, guys, he is back. We're at AmFest. How's it going, man? Post-election.
Good, brother. How you been?
Yeah. I remember we filmed right before the election and Trump was favored to win and he pulled it off. So
Yeah, he did.
has your world changed a lot?
It has actually in a lot of ways. And so obviously I didn't want Trump to win, but something really positive has come out of the win. I mean, we'll see if a lot of negative things come out, right? But and there's definitely policy things I'm super worried about. But the good news is like establishment media feels defeated. And I think that they know it. And I feel their panic and I love it and I drink it up.
Yeah. Well, you see, Hot Ones just got acquired by Soros. So he's shifting his efforts to alternative media and podcasts.
Yeah. Everybody's shifting because, so look, the right wing's more of a mixed bag. You guys, a lot of the funders, donors, investors, et cetera, understood the power of online media earlier than the Democrats did.
Yeah.
The Democrats, they believed in mainstream media so much. The Uniparty has controlled mainstream media so thoroughly for so long that they got cocky and they didn't believe in online media. And so anytime that you'd even have a conversation about online media, the power brokers would think, oh, first of all, that's a little thing. Like it scraps off our table. It's not important. But most importantly, you're going to say what we want you to say, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. A, we're never going to do that. And B, you missed the whole goddamn point.
Yeah.
Okay. So the power of online media comes in authenticity. So if you don't want authenticity, this is not the place for you. And so they will all went away because they don't want authenticity.
Yep.
They just wanted propaganda, right? And what you got to give Trump credit for and MAGA credit for is that they embraced the chaos. They knew that hey, some people are going to disagree. Some people are going to say bad things about you. You can't fully control the message, right?
Yeah.
But they rode that wave, right? And strategically, not policy, but strategically, that was the correct decision.
Yeah.
The Democrats keep making the wrong decision and doubling down on the establishment. And that's why they're getting their asses handed to them. So after the election, the fact that people realize, oh, we're not going to be able to propaganda our way out of this and mainstream media is on its way down, that's great news.
Yeah. Have your political views changed?
No, none.
They're still the same?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's respect that you're still standing on it, though.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, but look, the great news on policy front is not that my opinions have changed or anybody else's. It's that we're finally beginning to realize, hey, wait a minute, on some things we actually do agree.
Right.
No, and if I'm being, more direct, I would say to you that the right wing's ethos, drive, like culture, and their way of thinking about things has changed. So the left wing became, unfortunately, big portions of it, not all of it, not the Bernie crowd, but a lot of it became authoritarian. You must believe this. There is no other way to do it. And if you veer from that, it's heresy and it's unacceptable, right? The right wing used to be more authoritarian and then started to open up and say, okay, you know what? You're allowed to disagree. Okay, yeah, this, that, and the other thing, right?
Yeah.
And so within that disagreement, all of a sudden people started saying, hey, I don't know that corporate power is such a great thing. And I'm like, there you go. That's populist.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we've been saying all along. So what I'm telling my left-wing friends is, brother, when they get to a yes, take it.
Yeah.
Take the yes, right? And they're so burned and they're so reluctant because of the past that they have trouble believing it. But I've been on enough shows. I've talked to enough MAGA hosts and real people to know that it's real.
Okay. Are you a fan of the Doge movement, getting rid of government jobs?
So Doge is too big in terms of an umbrella word, right? And an idea. So if you say, am I in favor of Doge cutting Medicare? My answer is hell no. Okay. Or Social Security. No way. Right. But if you say Doge cutting Pentagon, yeah, let's have a conversation.
Shout out to today's sponsor, Prolon. If starting the year with the fast feels a little daunting, you're not alone. There's an entire community of individuals wanting to make a meaningful decision in their health, just like you. This is what makes group fasting so powerful and why I'm joining in on Prolon's January Longevity Challenge, which is a coach-led program to set you up for fasting success. Prolon's fasting mimicking diet is a revolutionary plant-based nutrition program that nourishes the body while making cells believe they're fasting. I got all 5 boxes here and I'm starting day 1 tomorrow. It's researched and developed for decades at USC's Longevity Institute and backed by leading US medical centers. It helps promote healthy blood sugar, enhanced skin appearance, fat loss, and improved energy and focus. It all starts with their 5-day program, which contains snacks, soups, and beverages designed to keep the body in a fasting state. No guesswork or planning required, which is a relief after a busy holiday. If you guys are ready to make 2025 your healthiest year yet, order your Prolon 5-day kit at prolonlife.com/DSH. And they're offering Digital Social Hour listeners 15% off their 5-day nutrition program. Use the code DSH at prolonlife.com/DSH.
We're talking about cutting corporate subsidies. Why are oil companies getting $30 billion a year in subsidies? I don't get it.
Right.
Like they should be paying us. They're causing climate change. And now people can't afford their homes because the insurance companies are pulling out. And all of a sudden the value of their houses are plummeting in Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, South Carolina, all red states, also California, right?
Yeah.
So let's unite on the things that we agree on. So why I don't want to spend my money on foreign governments. I don't want to spend it on corporate subsidies. I don't want to spend it on Pentagon BS, right?
Yeah, so, that's a fair take. Take it agency by agency, not an overall umbrella.
Yeah. And look, that's what I'm trying to explain to the left, because I think the right's actually pretty good at this, which is, guys, so what if we disagree? Okay, then let's fight over it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But when we do agree, why don't we unite and just get the policies we want?
Right. What about the Department of Education? Are you in favor of removing that?
No.
Why?
So look, education is obviously an enormous equalizer. It's about equality of opportunity. So a lot of times the right wing thinks that the left wants equality of results, and some few people on the left do, but most of the left, especially the voters, just want equality of opportunity. And for me, my dad was a very poor farmer in southeastern Turkey, and the way he got out of that was they allowed for a free education in Turkey back in the 1960s. If you qualified, if you scored in the top 15, 20%, and he did, he wound up going to the top engineering school, and it changed our lives forever. So I'm an enormous believer in education. I know that you can say, hey, you know what? Department of Education maybe doesn't help that as much as it should.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to really get into the nitty gritty of what are the programs? Do they help? Do they not help?
Yeah, I am in favor of education, but don't you think it's gotten a little too expensive?
Oh, education is ridiculously expensive, but that's not on the Department of Education.
Fair.
That's on the colleges. And they're basically building up these giant trust funds, I'm forgetting what they call it, but they've got like 10 billion here, 40 billion there, and Yale and Harvard have this giant fight. Well, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with your 10 or 20 or $40 billion? Yep. Why are you charging people an arm and a leg? And you know what happens when they charge that much? You become an indentured servant of the corporate class, right? Because then you spend the rest of your life paying that debt back, and then they got you. The college debt, along with healthcare being attached to your employer, is what puts shackles on you, so you can't fight corporate power, right? And now when private equity buys all the residential homes, they're just turning us into indentured servants that are going to serve them the rest of our lives.
Absolutely.
That's why the right-wing revolt is actually positive. When on the things I don't agree with, no problem, man. We'll fight you on that completely. But you guys are doing some portions of it.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see if it's real, though. Let me do this back at you, right? Because I see the energy here. And I've now talked to hundreds and hundreds of guys who are MAGA, and they really do mean it, right? And let alone dozens of hosts. Right? Yeah. But what I ask back is that you guys hold your leaders accountable. Because if they don't do any of that, right? They get rid of the Department of Education, but the education still costs just as much, right? and if they don't actually fight private equity buying up our homes, if they don't do any of that, you've got to hold them accountable.
Yeah. I'm all about accountability. I mean, look what's happening to Mike Johnson right now.
Yeah.
He's being held accountable. He canceled his whole speech here.
Yeah.
So
look, so again, we might agree and disagree on some of the cuts, but Mike Johnson was doing uniparty stuff, right?
Yeah.
And what they were thinking is, oh, this election is fun and games, But at the end of the day, we're just going to go back to more corporate tax cuts and more giveaways, et cetera. And you guys blocked that. For worse in some ways, but for better in some ways.
Right.
So at least that's a revolt, right?
Yeah.
And as Charlie and I talked about on stage, you revolted against Mitch McConnell, you revolted against Dick Cheney. Those are huge wins.
Absolutely. So I asked Charlie if he believes college debt should be forgiven, student debt. He said no. What would your take on that be?
Look, yes is the answer, but it has to be coupled with Bernie's proposal of free college education. That doesn't mean you get to go to Harvard. All it means is if you're going to a state school, right, just like the state schools in Turkey in the 1960s, back when it was really poor, could still afford it, gives you an opportunity to go to a great school like University of Wisconsin or University of Texas, University of North Carolina, these amazing state schools, right? Get you a chance to get that for free because, and they say, oh, well, there's some of that will go to the rich. Guys, they're going to the Ivies, right? They don't need, University of Georgia to let them in and to get a free education. That's for the rest of us. That's for the middle class. So if you do those two things together, you say education is not going to cost this much anymore. You pay it if you want to. If you want to go to Harvard and pay them $1 gazillion, that's your business, right? That's freedom, right? But you're going to have an opportunity for your kids to have the same shot as rich people's kids. I love that.
I love it. What's next for you and the Young Turks?
So look, first of all, everybody come watch live 6 o'clock Eastern every single day, Monday through Friday, right? Come find out for yourselves. What's our policies? What do we believe, et cetera. Hold us accountable, right? So Young Turks on YouTube is a great place to watch 6 o'clock every day. Okay, so we put together a populist plank on tyt.com. 6 things I think we all agree on. And so and come sign it. We don't want just left-wingers signing it. We want left-wing, right-wing, independents. We want everybody. By the way, we polled our audience. 18% of our audience are not Democrats. They're independents.
Oh, wow.
That's a big number, 18%, right?
Yeah.
People are beginning to realize, these guys fight for us, right? We agree and disagree on some issues, but on the core issues that we agree on, there is no better fighter than the Young Turks on those things. So what are the 6 real quick? Higher wages for the average guy, not for the corporate CEOs, right? And there's ways to get there. Pay family leave. So when you have a kid, a mom gets to take 12 weeks off, raise her kid for just a little while, right?
Yeah.
And so that's just basic decency. Anti-war, anti-corruption. One of them is private equity cannot buy residential homes. And then the last one is we negotiate all drug prices. What is this, 1 drug or 10 drugs or no drugs? No. In a capitalist system, in a free market, you can negotiate any price. It's an absolute outrage. I think we all agree to all 6 of those. If we get that to be a couple million people that sign it, and then we take it to the politicians and go, we're demanding that you do this on behalf of all of the American people, that would be a great way to go.
We'll link that below. Thanks for coming on again, man.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Cool.